All right, so this is part 3 of our series, The Most Important Questions to Ask Yourself. In part 1, we used a powerful question to give us clarity on what exactly we want. And in part 2, we talked about the most efficient way to get what you want. Use a coach or mentor. And as promised, in this video, I will show you how to hire a mentor when you don't have money to hire him. So, let's get started. All right, so let me tell you a story. It is the story of the $250,000 suitcase. So imagine for a moment that there's a suitcase with $250,000 in cash sitting in a lockbox in London. And somebody hands you the key to the lockbox and says, the suitcase with all the money is yours under one condition. You have to pick it up within 24 hours from now. If you get there before the time is up, the money is yours. Now here's the challenge. The suitcase is in London, but you're not. So let's say that you're like me in Austin, Texas. There's no direct flight to London from Austin. In order to make the timeline, you have to leave the house pretty much now and get on the first available flight to London. So you need to organize who's picking up the kids from school. You make sure that they have dinner and get to school tomorrow while you're getting the suitcase with $250,000. You need to make sure that somebody is walking the dog and you have to cancel an appointment for tomorrow or maybe even miss work. And since it's last minute, you probably need to buy a business class ticket for, let's say, $9,000. You need to get a hotel room in London. You'd have to take an Uber or cab. So this trip could easily cost you $10,000. And you know what? Let's say you don't have $10,000 laying around. So what do? What would you do in order to get the suitcase with the $250,000? Now, some people might say, that's too much. I can't do it. You know what? Those are the people who will never get rich. But you are different. You decide to find a way. So you call and ask your friend to pick up the kids from school, and on the way to the airport, you organize a sleepover for the kids at their friend's house, and you call your bank and ask them to raise the limit on your credit card so that you can buy the ticket, and you ask your brother or sister or mom or dad for their credit card since you still don't have enough money for the ticket. In short, you do everything you can to make it happen. Now, when people ask you why you need help, you tell them about the suitcase, and they will tell you that you're crazy. But you're determined. You tell them how important this is for you, and they realize that it's going to happen whether they help you or not, and since they are your friends and family, they do help you. And you are making it happen. No, it's stressful. And some people would say, it's impossible. Some people will say, you're crazy. Some people will say, wow, I would never do that. But you do. You make it happen. And 2 days later, you come back with $250,000. And you reward yourself and everybody who helped you. So let me ask you, what would you do? If you knew that you had to get to London within 24 hours to get a suitcase full of money, wouldn't you do anything you can to make it happen? Wouldn't you rearrange your schedule and get the money somehow and just get it done? See, there's only 3 reasons why somebody wouldn't do it. Number 1, they don't believe that this is real. Number 2, they think they can't do it. And number 3, they think that it's too much effort. Now, why am I telling you this story? Well, this is how I feel about having a mentor. See, over the past few years, I probably spent more than $250,000 on mentors, on coaches, and on masterminds. Some coaches cost me $25,000. Some mentors asked for a $35,000 investment. And some masterminds that I attended were $50,000. And sometimes I just spent another $5,000 in travel to get to my coach or mentor. And sometimes it was inconvenient. But we already talked about it in part 2 of this series. Every single time I invested in a coach, mentor, or mastermind, I did it because I expected at least a 10x return on my investment. Now you might think, sure, it's easy for you to invest $25,000 in a mentor. You are a multimillionaire. I can assure you, I invested in mentors, coaches, and masterminds long before I was a multimillionaire. I invested in them before I had the money. Every single time I invested in a coach or mentor, I put it on a credit card. Why? Because I knew that I would get a 10x return on investment based on the due diligence that I did. And if you want to know how exactly I decided whether I should hire a mentor or coach, take a look at my selection process in part 2 of this series. I'll link to it in the description. So before we continue, let me ask you, is this helpful thus far? Because if it is, click on like, because this way I know which videos you like best and I will make more of them. So click on like right now. So let's continue. Should you hire a mentor or buy a new car? I know, this sounds like a ridiculous question, and yet there are some people who would rather buy a new car and make monthly payments on it. You see, I would rather pay a mentor using my credit card and make monthly payments on that. Why? Because hiring a mentor or a coach is an investment. Buying a new car is an expense. So I'd rather keep driving my old car for another year and put the kitchen renovation on hold and hire a mentor instead. Since hiring a mentor is an investment, I am sure that I will make back the money that I invest and more. And then I can buy an even nicer car. And then I can get an even fancier kitchen or even buy a new house. You see, as Tony Robbins likes to say, it's not the lack of resources that stops you. It's the lack of resourcefulness. Be resourceful and hire the mentor you need to achieve your goals. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Now, to learn more about how to make more money and achieve financial freedom, click on any of the videos on the screen right now that make the most sense to you. And make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell, because this way you get notified whenever I release a new video. And I'll talk to you very soon.